It could take him just as long to get from Nebraska to New York City than it does someone from Sydney, Australia to get to New York City.
That's about right. How we doing, New York City? Man, I'm like a fish out of water. Somebody said that yesterday. I thought I'm going to steal that one. My name's Steve Tucker. I am a farmer, but let me tell you a little bit. I live in a community. I'm also the fire chief of our volunteer fire department. I'm also an EMT, so if something happens here today, I know how to call 911. All right? Let me just tell you a little bit about how I got started in Twitter. And I listened to Leo Laporte, the Twit Network, and that, really, let's face it, I spend a lot of time alone in a tractor. And I told Jeff 10 minutes is going to be a little difficult because I got about 100 minutes worth of material. But I'll keep it under 10. And I got started in Twitter. I was one of the first ones of the farmer, and it's amazing that throughout time, I watched Twitter grow. I don't know if you're familiar, there's another farm kid from Nebraska that kind of started Twitter. Now, I don't know anything about coding, but a lot of times in the wintertime we have nothing else to do, so we can pick up another habit or a trade or something that we could, as another skill. But it's amazing to find out all the people that are out there in the world. When I started farming 20 years ago with my grandfather, our community consisted of half of our county. And it's amazing how I have connected over the last 4 or 5 years because of Twitter with people all across the entire world. CNN thought it was so interesting that a farmer in the middle of nowhere, that they actually called me up and we did an article. And then CNN.com thought, well, that's kind of interesting. Let's get him on and let's do a Skype call with him. Let's do it live. And they called me up and sent me an email, and I said, do you know where I live? I'm lucky to have internet access to get out of here to the world, and now you want to do a Skype call. And so the stars aligned, and the wires came together, and the webcam worked, the computer held together, and we actually did a live Skype call from the farm talking about some guy in the middle of nowhere can tweet from his tractor on my smartphone, which I want you to realize I have GPS, I push a button, the tractor drives itself, and then I have access to the world. And not only that, but so do a lot of other farmers. And what I'm amazed at coming to New York City is here are 8 to 9 million people. And I haven't found a piece of farm equipment or much dirt that you guys grow anything. So we have a working relationship whether you know it or not. I raise food, and I'm assuming that you eat it. And so we've got something going here. And there are a lot of farmers that are out there that are starting to get into social media. And it's a slow process because it's a change in generations right now in agriculture. And what I love about Twitter, what I love about community and how this is growing and changing is the fact that we have a lot of things that are similar. You can develop a community that is similar. You can develop relationships. I can do that with other farmers because we've got similar interests. And the term that has sprouted up, the hashtag AgNerd, I love that. And that thing has grown. And there's a group of farmers that get together in Ag Chat. It's an organization that has started. It's a nonprofit that's kind of just trying to help farmers get into this new area in the state of now. And so I find it interesting that we can take people with similarities, and then at the same time, we can have people with complete polar opposites. And that's what I find completely intriguing. It's the polar opposite people that I have dealt with. And let me give you an example. there was a young lady that after I did the CNN article, she contacted me and we built this friendship up. Now let me explain to you how this paint this picture for you. She was black, I am white. She was a female, I am male. She was single, I'm married with 3 kids. She lived in New York City, I live in the middle of nowhere. Let me explain to you where the middle of nowhere is. Let's just say that from New York City, you're going to go out to Los Angeles or out to California, and you get on the airplane, right? And you know, about an hour into it, they start bringing you the drinks, and so it's in the morning, so you have a cup of coffee, right? And so about halfway through the flight, because of the way we are, it's time to use the facilities in the plane, all right? So you make your way to the plane, to the back of the plane to use the facilities, and when you go and you flush, that's where I live. All right? And so this young lady named Ellie lived in New York City. And she always wanted to come out to the farm, and every time I put a tweet out there, or every day, we'd have this conversation. And things got busy on the farm, as they tend to do, and over, days, it just kind of stopped for a little bit. And I got this message from her sister that said, Steve, I need to tell you some information about Ellie. Could you become my friend? I can DM you. So we did. And she sent me the message that said, Ellie always loved you, but I wanted you to know, because she always talked about you, that she passed away just the other day. Crushed me. Because that's what I love about Twitter, is being authentic. And it came up yesterday. Being real. Conversation. Have you seen these words come out? And that's what Twitter is for me. It's a way that I can connect with people. It's a way that I can communicate. And man, someone I never even met, I don't understand how it works, but we can have this strong relationship. And that's what I'm all about. Is a relationship. But you know what I love about New York City and taking the subways, which I have never been on a subway before, but I love looking at people in the face and smiling at them. Because that is completely not what happens here, is it? But that's what happens where I'm from. You drive down the road in Nebraska, you better be waving at somebody because they're waving at you. All right? So that's what I love about the community of Twitter and Facebook and all of the different things in social media, the relationships that we can build. And if you want to be my friend, you got to join in the conversation. It's not a one-way street. And I will tell you this, that I do have a lot of time to talk, and so we can converse back and forth, and we can discuss if I break down and need some parts, maybe you can run them out to me or something like that. So, all right, that's all I have today, but just to share and to get engaged in the conversation, and you can do it from the middle of nowhere, and it makes our world a whole lot smaller and a much better place. Thank you. God bless.
But stay there. So, anyone here ever tried driving cross country? Some of you? And if any of you want to go on an adventure this summer or live near Nebraska, we're going to try something special. We're announcing right now the 140Conf meetup in Venango?
Close enough.
How is it?
Venango.
Venango, Nebraska. It's going to be July 20th. Because my dear friend Steve loves to tweet from his tractor, and he wants to do tweet ups, and no one's showing up. We're going to show up.
I got to tell you,
throwing me off the stage?
I got to tell you, I check into Foursquare, and it says, we got no clue where you're at, man.
But we're going to put it on the map, right?
All right.
July 20th.
July 20th.
And I'll put it out on the mailing list. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Hey, give it up. Come on, Steve.